I didn't accept my daughter when she came out to me. Now she won't speak to me. What do I do? This comes from No Sugar 754.
In June?
And they say, will my daughter ever forgive me? My adult daughter, 24, will not talk to me. I recognize my part in it and I understand her initial pain, but when I go out of the way to apologize and try to heal with her, she still perpetuates publicly that I am some sort of monster that has disowned her. I just don't think there's anything I can do now. It's in her court now. I was not accepting when my daughter came out as a lesbian. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I told her I will always love her, but I don't agree with her choice. I believe you can love people without agreeing with every part of them. For a while, our relationship was rocky until she started dating a girl, and I asked her to keep her relationship separate from our family. Ooh, not good.
Not good.
And now I realize how wrong that is. She has not spoken to me since. I've reached out multiple times to tell her I'm sorry. She missed the death and the funeral of my grandmother, who had a huge upbringing in her life, because she refuses to talk to me. I've offered to go to therapy with her. She refuses. She no longer even talks to her sisters because of their proximity to me, and says they enabled me to be hateful and abusive because they won't stop talking to me. Well, she got married last week.
Oh, wow.
None of her family was there. My friend sent a screenshot of a post she made about how she didn't have a supportive mother to help her plan her wedding or pick out her dress. And honestly, it made me so angry. I wanted nothing more but to be there. I understand the hurt I caused, but I believe this goes beyond me. I love my daughter so much, regardless of her life choices. She could be in prison and I would feel the same way, because, you know, being a lesbian is the same as being a murderer.
Yup, basically the same.
And there are some relevant comments and another thick, juicy update. But what do you think about OP's question? Will my daughter ever forgive me?
Yeah, I think, one, I think mom could use some help from, perhaps, I know the mom said, like going to therapy together or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think if the mom, maybe the mom already is doing this, going to therapy and trying to figure out how best to approach, ideally, a LGBTQ plus like therapist or something like that to help her, or like someone who like specializes in that kind of work to help the mom kind of figure out how to approach the daughter. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like even in this post, I'm getting like this undercurrent of wanting so bad to understand, but maybe not having put in all the effort needed to understand. And I think when you don't have a good relationship with your daughter, you need to start putting in the educational rounds to get there.
She has taken this first step of like, okay, I want to repair, and I know that that's wrong, and I want to improve.
Yeah.
Great to recognize.
Which is what we want. We always want people to improve.
Which is what we want. And so now it's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, talking with, and also I'd be very curious if anyone in the chat or anything has any stories, personal, otherwise, that would help illustrate that they've seen firsthand. But talking with someone, ideally like a therapist who can help walk her through and educate her on all this stuff. Because even saying the thing like, even if she was in prison, it's like, come on, bruh.
Which is, I feel like that sentence is a sign of maybe an unreliable narrator.
What happened with prison?
Nothing happened with prison. She said she would accept her daughter even if she was in prison.
So
she's equating gayness to...
Were you listening?
I just got here.
Oh, did you switch out?
She just got here 10 seconds
I was in the bathroom.
So talk to a therapist that I think specializes.
Yeah. So relevant comments. Commenter: I'm curious if you're still not supportive of her quote unquote choice. I myself am a lesbian, and I know I would act exactly like your daughter if my parents were like you. But I'm also aware that people can change and realize things later in life. She is deeply hurt that her parent, who was supposed to love her unconditionally, refused a major part of her. She is always going to be somehow hurt by it. But if you're accepting of her now, supportive of her, I honestly think with time, she can forgive you. You can only show your honest support for her and hope she lets you back in her life, which I think is true.
Yeah. And I also loved that. That was kind of what I was asking earlier. Like, oh, it would be great to find someone in that scenario, which the commenter literally was, which is great, which is being fair. It's like, hey, you know, she's trying to learn and understand, but also at the same time, I could see how frustrating it'd be. Like, I support your lifestyle,
your choice to be a criminal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, how frustrating and annoying is it from her daughter's perspective and more to deal with that?
But I think there is a big step in just trying to be understanding.
That's like, yeah, it's a huge first step to get on the path.
Yeah. I think OP's initial post shows that there's an effort put to change, and I believe that everyone can change if they really feel emotionally driven by it, which it seems like OP is. OP responds, I feel the same way as if she were to make any choice I don't agree with. I will love her unconditionally, even if I don't agree with it. I don't think that will change. Commenter responds, when you say you're sorry, what exactly are you sorry for? And what are you prepared to do differently now compared to how you behaved in the past? OP responds, I am sorry that she feels like I don't love or support her.
I mean, but she doesn't support her.
Yeah, she's like, even if I don't agree with it, I don't think that.
Just like that phrase, even if I don't agree with it, I still support it. Still,
that's where I can see the daughter being so frustrated every time she tries to engage with this stuff.
It's like, this is my identity, and if you don't support it, it's an act of not loving. So
yeah, like I love you, except the major part of your identity.
Yeah.
But I think, it's like I see this person trying to change, but they're so enveloped in like their religious views that it's really hard, I think, to step outside.
Yeah.
But I do recognize that they're trying. So I don't want to like spite someone for trying. You know?
For sure. Yeah. Again, like ideally OP could talk, like OP probably doesn't have anyone in their life naturally that could help them walk them through. Like, what is the best way to maybe sending a message to the daughter possibly of like, I want to learn. It's not necessarily your job to educate me, but like, if you're open and willing, I want to hear from you everything I can do to be better.
And we actually have someone that we're going to call in later. Madolo actually had a good experience with something like this with coming out. So we'll chat on that in a little bit. But updates. I posted about a month ago about my relationship with my daughter. At the moment, she will not talk to me at all, and she has said she will never again. I admit my wrongdoings, but what else can I do? How do I tell my daughter she needs to stop posting about me online and perpetuating the idea that I disowned her, which is not what happened? I was not accepting when my daughter came out as gay, but since then, I have told her numerous times that I still love her, even if I don't agree with everything she does and have my own religious beliefs.
Always got to follow up with that.
It doesn't change the fact that I'm her mother. Even if she did something horrible and ended up in prison, I would still be there.
Well, yeah, she's saying this is something horrible.
Yeah. I feel like that's like not getting it, you know?
Yeah.
She has blocked me on everything, no longer talks to her sisters. She got married over the summer and did not invite anyone. I found out from a friend who is friends with her on Facebook. I wrote her a letter with a gift card as a wedding gift and sent it to her. Gave her $5 at Bed Bath & Beyond and said, hey, you want to forgive me for 20 years of not supporting or accepting you?
Here's some bath salts.
Here you go. Go crazy, kid. I offered to go to group therapy with her and learn how I can better support her. The next week, she called me for the first time in 2 years and told me to leave her alone and not to contact her again.
Yeah.
Which I've respected, but she's gone back to posting about how I disowned her and don't accept her or her marriage. How many posts can you make about that?
Probably a lot.
Like,
I mean, we were just talking the other day about how many times we want to post a day.
That's true. That's true.
Which is a lot. Up to 100.
Up to 100 posts
plus
a day. Is there anything I can do? Just accept it? It hurts enough to not have a relationship with her, but for her to continually say these things about me that are not true, I wanted to be at her wedding. I was not given the chance to be. And there is one more relevant comment before we go into the update. But what do we think about that update? Because we do have another couple more updates to go.
Yeah, it's tough. So now we're at the point where the daughter is saying, I don't want.
Basically, stop harassing me.
Basically, stop trying to reach out and contact me. And I think we've seen kind of similar scenarios of like people that are like, how do I get through to my adult children? And low key, it sucks, but you kind of have to sit, wait, and be ready and give them their space in many cases and stories that we've seen before, right?
That also fits for hunting advice. Sit, wait, and be ready. And give them space.
I wasn't ready for that. But yeah, I mean, do you think there's anything different other than that should be?
If I was giving OP advice, I would say go educate yourself first, because everything you say is going to actually just put a deeper wedge between you and your daughter. Because even in your posts, I'm seeing that you just have so much homophobia within your religious context that like, hey, like there are people that have that and people that live with that religious context, and that sucks for them. But like it's gonna be very hard for you to have a relationship with a gay person if you have that worldview. It's just gonna be really hard.
The next step is to truly learn. Like it sounds like you say you want to do. It seems like that is what OP actually does want.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I think you should go find a gay therapist.
That's what I said earlier.
Gay therapist? Specifically a gay therapist?
I said LGBTQ plus therapist.
Oh.
That's roll the tape back. That is literally exactly what I said at the very top of the story. I think if the mom going to therapy, ideally a LGBTQ plus like therapist or something like that.
And I agree.
Yes.
What, you gonna crucify me?
No,
for
I'm just
agreeing
like,
with you, John?
I that's literally what I said.
Yes, as John said.
Yes.
In the words of John,
Banter comprehension.
get a therapist that
Yes.
is LGBTQIA2S.
She'll learn, I feel like.
Plus. I got all the letters, right?
Well, you added an S.
2S. You don't know about 2S? Get freaking with the
Dang.
program. Damn.
Wow.
You call yourself an ally?
Whoa.
Get wrecked, dude.
Two spirits, bro.
Oh yeah.
Heck
right.
yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Boom.
Good job.
That's right.
I didn't hear the 2. I just heard SS, and I was like, what?
Well, relevant comments. Commenter 1. But you don't really accept her. You love her even though you don't agree with everything she does. You judge her and you judge her life. Sometimes love isn't enough. Maybe she's just tired of constantly putting up with your judgment and comments. Then you equate her being gay to something extreme like her ending up in prison. I get that you are making extreme to say how much you love her, but you're really saying her homosexuality is something within the same realm as that. Love isn't enough. Sounds like your daughter needs respect and acceptance. Actual acceptance, not just tolerating who she is. I give you a lot of props for willing to go to group therapy to understand her more, but clearly whatever happens before she hasn't gotten over or forgiven you yet, you don't get to demand forgiveness. And commenter 2 says, it sounds like she enjoys the attention she must be getting playing the victim. You did your part. You tried to make amends. So my advice to you is to concentrate on your daughters that want to be with you and don't lose them because of her.
Whoa. What a switch in the comments.
It's a weird comment.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that there was other daughters in the equation. Maybe that was mentioned somewhere in the comments. But yeah, I think the mom. Yeah, what do you think about that?
It sounds like she enjoys the attention she must be getting playing the victim. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with saying that.
Yeah.
But she is posting about it a lot. I don't know if I would
All we know is she posts about it a lot. That's it. I feel like there could be specific things that were made.
Yeah,
we
maybe
don't
there's
really
other
know.
reasons that she's posting about it. I don't know.
I mean, I do think even if there is some playing the victim role in it, I do get the sense that she is, while she is ignorant and continues to like make these comments that would be very hurtful and frustrating, I believe she's like trying to like figure out or understand it. She probably feels like she's exhausting all of her options of like, she probably doesn't have anyone in her life. She's like, what do I do now? Just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall almost.
I mean, honestly, if you go through a ton of trauma and you're trying to rally some support, maybe that's what she needs right now.
Yeah.
So like, maybe, I don't know. I feel like
it's hard to say with the
context. It feels like
we have.
a little bit of. It feels a little harsh.
Yeah.
For what we know, because all we know is she's like made posts about it. But I don't know. I feel like
we would need more context.
We need more context.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it matters, honestly, at least for OP's perspective. I don't even know if I agree with a lot of this in here. I think like if I was just to give advice to OP, it's educate yourself to try to understand your daughter and give your daughter space, and then focus on the things that you can change.
Yeah.
But there is 2 more updates. So another update. Hi there, I'm a 57-year-old woman who has been a devout Catholic for my entire life. I was raised in the church, and so were my 3 daughters. None of them ended up particularly religious, but my oldest daughter came out as lesbian and is now married. We are estranged. It is my fault. I did not accept or affirm her, and I denied my wrongdoings for a long time and justified it by using Catholicism. In the past few months, I've been going to therapy, and I've been going through a crisis of faith and understand how I've hurt my daughter. I've left the church and now see how it ruined everything. I didn't see my daughter get married or graduate college because I chose my faith and the church over her. My priest told me I was making the right decision. Wow. Is it too late to fix it? She has blocked me on everything, lives 3 hours away, and is incredibly traumatized by how I treated her and refused to accept it. That's kind of gross.
It's a pretty big event.
That's kind of growth.
I would say.
And
yeah.
like, this is someone who has been raised their entire life in the Catholic Church. That is so much mental programming to overcome.
Yeah.
To get like we have to have perspective here of like
100%.
how much it takes to get to this point. And I think honestly, yes, it might be too late, but I think a change like this is like kind of deserving of a good job. Like
Yeah.
you really wrestled with this, and I think sounds like she came out a little bit better.
That was really interesting too, that the priest said that she's making the right move, because it's like at the end of the day,
Wow.
like you lose your daughter over this, you know.
That like this is why people go to the internet to ask these questions. They're not going to the internet to be called a terrible person and just get hate. They're going to the internet ideally to try to learn.
Yeah, some sort of guidance or thing that they have not seen or thought of yet.
Exactly. And that's what we're hoping to provide. But there is one final update.
Hope it's juicy.
So I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
I was given a very grim prognosis, and the statistics paint a very bad picture. I know you're going to read my past posts and tell me how horrible I am and don't deserve my daughter's forgiveness. I'm not going to lie, my beliefs haven't changed, but I love my daughter. I'm terrified I'm going to die without hugging her or speaking to her one more time. I am a grandmother now, and I probably won't get to meet my grandson before I die. My daughter knows about my diagnosis. She's expressed she has no intentions of coming here or reconciling, and has told my sisters that she still doesn't want to talk to me. What can I do? Is there really no saving our relationship? Please help me. I'm not giving up my faith or changing my beliefs, but I will support and respect her family. Oh, so is that last post just a lie?
I don't know. Yeah, that does
I think the last post was a lie.
I mean, is she saying like she left the church but still has her?
No, I think that was a lie. I think she's like, no, I'm not going to give my, or maybe she was wretling with her faith and then she just
kind of landed
she chose
back.
The faith. Yep,
Yeah.
growth gone.
Dude,
Dang, it sucks.
I mean, that is a insane scenario.
Or if she lied about that last one, is she lying about this to get a way to see her daughter? And
I mean, dude, if that's true, that is bananas. And because I mean, also like with these stories, we literally only have the POV of the person talking. So what if she did a lot more stuff like with the daughter, and that's what which would make sense. Like if she treated the daughter way worse than she actually let on, then it would make sense why the daughter. We've seen many scenarios where people go completely no contact with their parents because of all the horrendous things they do to them. So what if there was a bunch of horrendous stuff that we didn't? We don't know.
Again, I think we might be dealing with an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Because I think the last one may have been a little bit of BS potentially. If we are to believe it, what happened is she was wrestling with her faith and then decided, no, I want to keep with my faith.
Yeah.
Or like keep this belief that I don't think my daughter is doing good by her decisions or whatever. I'm like wondering, is the daughter the a-hole? And for a moment, let's assume that everything that OP has said is true. And it's like she was not accepting of her daughter's sexuality when she came out, made life difficult for her, but it wasn't like any like crazy abuse. It was just the classic religious family member not accepting the spectrum of sexuality, which is still terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
But
100%.
Is there any a-holery to that the daughter has?
So thinking through it, I mean, ultimately, it's kind of like we say with relationships, where sometimes it's like, oh, this couple has this like weird specific thing that they do, but as long as both people in the relationship are okay with that, then so be it. You know, like people who are in polyamorous relationships, people in monogamous relationships would never accept that, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like OP's daughter is entitled to move how she wants, right? Maybe I'll say like and I can't really speak to this experience at all whatsoever, but here I go. I feel like I probably would have maybe sat down or heard her out more, which leads me to believe there's a lot there,
missing.
The unreliable narrator component, that there was more. Like I was also gonna say too, like I was like, oh, is OP gonna ask the question, should I reach out to my daughter like one last time? And I would have said, yeah, I think like if don't reach out if you
You're gonna die, so it's like might as well.
Yeah, no, I think I was gonna say like I think that's fair, like especially if we assume that like when she said like, hey, don't contact me again, if she hadn't talked to her and she just sent a message like, hey, I have this prognosis, I just wanted to tell you, I think that would have been okay. But
so do you think the daughter is the a-hole at all for anything?
Do you?
I'm not
passing the hot potato.
I'm not passing.
Yeah, I think there is some a-holery or in the a-hole spectrum possibly. If we're taking OP completely at her word, it seems like there could have been maybe more of a chance to sit down, and it's also never someone's job. I believe it's never someone's job to educate. It is on them to go and do the education. However, it does massively help expedite and aid in the process of helping someone get there at the same time. It's two sides of the same coin. And I do believe that ultimately the goal is to like bring people from a place where they're like not accepting and spreading hate and other things, and then bringing them to a place where they're not doing that to hopefully avoid other people from receiving it. So yeah, I think like maybe could have sat down and heard her out a bit more, especially if we're taking up her word.
We don't know.
We don't really know
how deep the abuse goes.
Yeah.
And I also have to believe like if she's not willing to see her mother on her deathbed, it probably goes pretty deep.
That's what I just have to. I mean, we've had a lot of ICUs and conspiracy theories on the show that we are correct about. So, this it seems like there's a lot more beneath the surface here.
Yeah, and her like really like I don't know if she necessarily owes her that. The daughter. I don't know that her daughter owes OP that. I think I'm not like LGBT, maybe a little bi, but like I'm not like I haven't had to like confront that with my parents ever.
Yeah.
And so
I haven't had to go through that experience essentially.
No, but like I imagine, but I also haven't had that kind of like abuse. I don't know. I don't think I would. I think maybe there's just so much trauma there that it can't be
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, there were some comments in there were some comments in the chat. Katie Lynn says, you don't deny your deathbed parent for nothing. Even going no contact with a parent is so hard because they're main support for most of your life before marrying to form new nuclear families. The blonde one says she doesn't, but at the same time, she's not innocent. She doesn't seem to be willing to compromise or even fix anything. And if she's not, stop posting about it and move on. Yeah, I do wonder about the posting. I feel like the constant posting. Yeah, I feel like the constant posting is like maybe not the best move. Gabe Elijah said, Sam, she left the church but maintained the core values and beliefs. She's still homophobic, which, yeah, she is. I think that's what we kind of ended at the end. She never gave up the church. She is still homophobic. Mm-hmm. And so like there is no character development really. So why would the daughter want to have any of that enter her life again?
Gabe Elijah says, as a queer person, we don't abandon our families easily. There is a reason. Yeah.
Sophia Abdullah says, we're only getting a snippet of the relationship and we don't know both sides, so I can't make an informed in judgment.
Yeah, so hard to say, truly.
It's hard. I mean, this is I think it's like, it's hard because we're getting the perspective of a narrator that we might not be able to trust and shows signs of being untrustworthy. But Sophia, what do you think?
I agree kind of with everything that you guys are saying. I think I don't think we know enough of what the daughter, we only have what OP said the daughter did of like posting nonstop stuff. But I definitely agree with who said that about we don't give up. Gabe Elijah. Family is so incredibly important in almost, in most people's lives. It's the first relationship that you have. And I think to give it up, there's usually a reason.
Yeah. But maybe we do a little poll just to see what everyone thinks right now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's should the daughter meet?
Should daughter meet with mom?
Should daughter meet with mom? No? Start poll. Do it. Yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff in the comments here.
Yeah.
I had to cut. Gabe Elijah says I had to cut off my grandma for 3 years due to her behavior. Pinky DeSlayer says, I think she's more concerned with how she now appears on social media than her daughter. And that's why I think the daughter is doubling down on making no contact. It feels like OP is more upset over that. That's actually super interesting.
Really good point.
That's because the OP keeps focusing on the social media aspect.
And it's kind of like, I mean, I guess there was the wedding was this kind of like point in it, but where was this energy like before? You know what I mean? Like what was the spark for? It seems like you kind of leaned in a lot more, and maybe the spark was that you don't want to be seen. Yeah,
you don't want to be seen as someone who is terrible to their daughter.
Not
and so
actually
now
learn.
It's changing, and your daughter knows this and is like, no, you have been so horrible to me. I'm going to expose how horrible you've been to the family. That's a really good point.
It's a super good point.
And it was focused on multiple times too. It was focused on multiple times. So I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like it's legit. Okay, so on the poll, what do we got for you?
We've got
wow, pretty split.
Should daughter meet OP? No, 58%. Yes, 41%.
And I mean, I feel like the comments were reflecting that, where it's like, oh man, this is hard. It would have been
hard. It's your deathbed.
It's a deathbed, and like how much did the mom do? We really don't know, but it really seems like there was a lot more under the surface than was let on. Like
everyone is like, grieves and processes information in their own way. My general philosophy though is forgive as much as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not possible, but like ideally forgive as much as possible, especially on a deathbed, because like I understand not wanting someone to be in your life if they can still actively hurt you, and that's like, you don't want to have that in your life. But if they're on their deathbed, it's like they can't hurt you anymore. So try to forgive them as much as you can.
This isn't a directly related to this experience, but I have had someone close to me lose a parent and tell me like, I wish that I had sat down and just like talked and tried to rectify more, because once you don't have that option anymore, then it's a very different world.
I think, and what I think like one of the universal things that I've heard just about death is that exact thing.
Right. Yeah.
I wish I could have forgiven more.
And that's not to say that OP's daughter should do that necessarily, but
but I'm just like from our perspective, like if we we don't know OP's or the daughter's experience as deeply, but it's like general philosophy: try to forgive as much as you can.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing to just like instantly decide without all the information. It's
100%.
really, it comes up to each person. But there is more.
Hey, Sophia, do you remember those 2 glorious weeks where you couldn't speak? You remember that?
2
time?
horrible weeks.
Right.
You
Yeah.
sounded like you were whispering always, like you were in the quiet place.
Yeah. What was going on there?
I had laryngitis and no one cared. Everyone
Oh.
was mean to me. I had to whistle for attention. It was
I
horrible.
thought she was faking it. I thought she was just doing it for the
I forgot
attention.
about that.
Yeah, I was convinced she just wanted to annoy me with her whistles.
I didn't know how to whistle beforehand, but I gained the ability to whistle.
That's
when
not true. It was still awful.
No, it
The
wasn't.
whistling was terrible.
It was great.
I hated it.
Well, Sophia, while none of us here cared the way you deserved, there's one place where you would have found someone who would care the way you deserve.
Who is that?
ZocDoc!
No way.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And these docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter for ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even the same day.
I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should freaking use it too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the show.
Commenter responds and says, I did not read your last post, but I am the gay child of a Christian parent who did re-engage after a stage 4 cancer prognosis.
Wow.
I came home, cooked soup, listened to hours of sob stories about cancer changing him and how he was sorry and now we'd be different. I held his hand, prayed with him. He acted like a scared puppy half the time and he was grumpy and hard to be with. Obviously, he didn't feel good all through the cancer treatment. He magically and with good nutrition got better, and we had another year where he was and acted humbled. Then he came back to his beliefs and made more comments. He reverted in his beliefs and soon became snarky and opinionated with my children. We became estranged again. He's now a life and health coach with a testimonial about how he was so brave and motivated during his cancer treatment. He guides other people on living good, healthy lives that fight cancer. He is such a disgusting fraud, and it makes me sick. I wish I never went back when he had cancer. He didn't change. We haven't spoken in 4 years, and it's the most peaceful years of my life. I honestly wish I had left him, feeling guilty and sad, as you seem to now, instead of giving him my forgiveness during that time. Christians do not change. They abuse us with their judgment until they die. Leave your daughter alone. If you feel horrible during this time in your life, it's only a percentage of pain that you gave to your daughter who had to mourn you already, not because you've died, but because the hope of a good relationship with you has.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of speechless.
That is,
I don't even know.
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is
the exact position.
That is the insanely the exact same position. Went through that the whole full cycle of that journey. Every once in a while you hear a story that rendered like, what's the real question? Who even knows anymore?
Yeah.
Renders you speechless.
Yeah, super powerful. Whoa. I mean, yeah. I mean, just like some people don't change.
This is true.
And it doesn't feel like OP has changed. I kind of said that.
Yeah. And that was the end of the story, right?
That's the end.
Yeah.
I still want to say like life is better when you try to forgive, even in all cases.
I mean, the reason that commenter went back to their dad was because of the hope that their dad would change, and because they had a desire to have a relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't think hope is a bad thing. I don't think hope is a bad thing.
Yeah.
The hope to improve a relationship.
Yeah. I wonder how I wonder how that commenter would have felt if they didn't go. Like, would the guilt be worse?
Or would maybe not even the guilt per se, but the not knowing.
The not knowing. Yeah. Because at least with this, it's like,
there was a conclusive answer.
Yeah, I actually kind of think that comment shows that you should try to forgive and give people as many opportunities as you can. And in the wake of that, like, you found out that they were just the same horrible person that they were before, and now you know.
The thought process is like, you're able to find whatever the closure is. There is a certain closure of like, okay, I now know that going no contact is actually the right decision, and now I've lived these 4 years of no contact and it's been so much better, and I know I should not. But if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have had the closure.
Exactly.
Of knowing that.
Exactly. Like, that comment actually shows that you, in a weird way, like, yes, it turned out terribly. But I read that and I think, oh, that person went in, tried to forgive, didn't work. Now they can live in peace.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't think they made a mistake. It was the dad's mistake, of course.
Yeah.
Like, the dad made a horrible mistake. Not a mistake. It was horrible. But I don't think the desire to believe the best in people is bad.
No.
Sometimes it hurts when they prove to you that they're not. They don't deserve that. But yeah.
Is the next one happy, Sophia?
I don't know.
Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she can't go to America?
America is the land of the free, home of the brave. Give us your huddled masses and your Reddit children.
And your daughter?
Yeah.
This comes from Mysterious Jumper 73, who says, my male 50, daughter, female 17, recently bought herself a plane ticket from the UK to Los Angeles.
Ooh.
She did not ask for permission and bought the tickets, and is now stating that she's going whether I allow her to or not.
Can you at 17? Is that allowed?
I mean,
Guess so.
yeah, good question. Sophia, maybe let us know.
What?
Can you buy and fly yourself at 17?
I think you
Yeah,
can.
I did. I flew alone at 16.
Without a whatchamacallit?
guardian.
Yeah, I went to Australia by myself at 16.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Proven. She bought the ticket a week ago and only tried talking to me about it 3 days ago. Classic teen behavior. She does not have a clear plan of whom she's staying with or what she's doing whilst she's there. She stated that her reasons for not asking me is because she'd already asked her mother. We are divorced and my daughter moved in with me 4 months ago. She thought that she did not have to get my permission as she thought her mother's was enough and that I scare her. While I'm open to the idea that I may scare her, I'm open to this concept that I might terrify her. I find it harder to believe that when she went ahead and bought these tickets regardless. She lied to me and I feel like I've been manipulated into this as her mother has said she can go despite neither of us giving her permission for her to buy tickets for 6 weeks time. My concerns are that she's 17 and never left the country on her own. She's never been to the States and she doesn't know what TSA can be like. I love how the dad's like, you don't know the horrors
TSA.
of TSA. Take your shoes off, take your belt off, computers out of the bag. She's previously struggled with major anxiety to the point where she's found it difficult to get to the underground in the UK. I'm guessing like the tube metro system is what he's talking about. We don't have family or friends out in LA that could get to her if she needed anyone, so there's no fallback plan and she's only 17. She doesn't have any world experience. I'm very reluctant to let her go due to poor decision making regarding the whole situation as it stands. All of my side of the family has said that it's a bad idea and that I shouldn't let her go, but my daughter has said she will hate me forever if I don't let her go, and her mother doesn't think it's a bad idea. So am I the a-hole? We have an edit and an update.
So the 17-year-old is going on a trip and the dad's like, she's never been anywhere.
Yes.
But she will continue to not be anywhere if you don't let her go anywhere.
This is true. Yeah, I'm like very pro.
You basically went to freaking Silicon Valley when you were 17.
I kind of did this a bit at 17.
I don't know if Amanda says, oh God, no, I wouldn't let my 17-year-old fly alone with no plan and no place to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know about the no plan
and no place to stay is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would let I flew alone when I was 17 or 16, but I had a plan and a place to stay.
Yeah, which it seems like OP was saying there's no family, there's no like if anything goes wrong. And I think he did say that she doesn't have a place to stay.
Also like transportation, LA's difficult.
And Sophia, when you went to Australia, you were staying with family. So.
I was staying with family, family and friends. And I did have to I had to take the metros or like all that, all public transportation by myself. You know, I did a 3-hour, like 2 buses and a train into the city by myself, but I had I knew where I was going.
I think maybe this is what we do. Maybe the dad is like, hey, I just don't want you going to LA alone.
Yeah.
Let's, we're not sure what the finances are, but hey, let's see, can we move the ticket? I can go with you. I'll make sure you have a place to stay and all this stuff. And I'm gonna let you travel, explore, like do everything. We'll fly over together.
And LA is not the safest place.
Yeah, for a young 17-year-old woman, it could be overwhelming. One who's prone to anxiety as well. So yeah, I think that's the move here, and be like, hey, like why don't we just fly over together and then you literally free reign.
Yeah,
I'll be here if you ever need anything, but like go for. I feel like that's the move where she can still maintain full independence. Sophia Cologne says, OMG conspiracy, she's meeting a guy she met on the internet, which this does sound like some teen runaway Tumblr boyfriend behavior. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you.
Because it's Pride Month, a girlfriend.
True, Dad. I don't want you up in my grill for this. What do you think, Sophia? Do you think that
as
a former teenage young woman?
Yeah, as a woman.
As a woman.
I don't know.
Speak for the women.
Speak for all women.
Well, I don't know if she's maybe. I don't know why she's going. I can't guess like you guys do.
All right. Well, let's see what actually happens.
Let's see. So, edit for those asking why I've ignored the whole daughter being scared of me. She tends to pick and choose when she wants to be scared of me. When it comes to asking for money or get a lift to party or work or to come get her before her phone dies late at night, she doesn't have an issue asking me for anything. I mean, I think it's like of things that she wants
Yeah.
that she may fear you're.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be reasonable here. She only becomes scared of me when she does something wrong and doesn't want to face the consequences and uses fear against me. So that way I can't instill any consequences. Also, her plans for accommodations is one of 2 friends, but she's unsure who and has never met them in real life. There are people she met online and video calls most nights to game with.
I feel like that's kind of scary to
Right?
I mean, like to a 17-year-old girl traveling
Yes.
across the world to meet online friends that she has no idea who they are.
I
I
mean,
would
as a
be too.
parent, I would be like, I need their
Yes.
name,
Yeah.
number. I
Yes.
need to meet them.
Yes.
I would
Same.
not. I actually would not allow that as
No.
a parent.
No.
I feel like I would still be like, hey, let me find a flight. Let's meet them on the call. Let's meet their parents. And then I will come with you to see them. But you're staying with me at our
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I would not allow. That's not safe.
That's what I would do. But I have never met them before and therefore don't trust them.
Smart.
Fair enough, Daddy. And there's an update. Firstly, thank you to everyone who has offered advice and ideas on how to tackle this. My daughter and I have since sat down and tried to the best of our abilities to talk through this in a calm manner. She continued to demand that she was going to the States regardless of my blessing or not. The conversation became heated and she decided to bring her mother in for backup. However, she eventually decided to reveal that one of the friends that she could stay with is actually coming to the UK to visit within the month. She has said that she can give me all of her friends' parents' contact details. I am still undecided. My daughter deceived me through her actions, and while I'm going to do my best to not let that affect my decision towards this, it does need to be addressed so that way she doesn't think she can steamroll every time she makes a rash decision. My eldest daughter suggested that I genuinely consider all the options she has, but find consequences regarding the deceit more domestically, like grounding her for a few months. I have not decided whether she can go or not. However, I am willing to meet her friend who is coming to visit and have some very long discussions with parents. Thank you for all your advice. It's all been very helpful and made me feel less alone in my reaction to my daughter's decisions.
Yeah, I mean, your daughter is almost an adult. I think it is good to have experiences
Yeah.
of travel, so that generally is pretty good. But you want to make sure they're safe, and you want to suss out the people that they're going to be staying with, and the parents, and make sure they're good people.
Yeah, I think both of them are, and I think they are both self-aware to a degree and are kind of recognizing, trying to work on it. But I feel like they're both being like the dad is like trying to keep himself from being petty. She's like, giving a little bit of, crossed arm kind of vibes. Both of them are kind of mean mugging each other, being maybe a little petty, a little bit. So I think that like OP coming to the table and being like, listen, I want you to meet your friends. I want you to have independence and learn and grow and travel the world and experience and meet your friends. I just want to make sure you're safe. And also maybe the mom is a better person to talk to her about that, because she could be like, listen, when I was like young and like traveling around, like I was always like making sure I was looking out for my own safety as a woman, you know what I mean? Or somebody else, an aunt she trusts, I don't know.
That being said, I guess mom was 19 when she started traveling the world, right?
Yeah.
Which, a couple of years makes a big difference.
And also I feel like it's the attitude. Like, honestly, I think from the beginning of the story, OP was just like, I'm gonna go and I'm taking the flight and I don't care. And it's like she's in her kind of like, I'm gonna go anyways.
Like, I know everything.
Yes, she's not like thinking through all of the things, which I believe are absolutely genuine.
She's dumb and naive enough to not realize how much she doesn't know.
Exactly. So it's like, hey, let's get you out there and exploring and meeting these friends and whatnot, but just do it safely.
Yeah.
Really. That's
Which I
really
think
what
is
it is.
the responsible thing to do. But I would love to know what you guys think. But we actually have a call-in that we were going to do, yeah?
Ooh, yes.
Madolo, if you're still in, I would love to hear your voice.
We're gonna give Madolo a ring.
Madolo, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Madolo, you messaged us and said you have a coming out story of how one should react to a child coming out. I'm curious how it happened and what was good about it.
Well, first of all, I was planning on calling my mom and my dad the same day, but my mom didn't pick up, so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to tell her yet. And I told her when I got a girlfriend, and she was very supportive and everything. And my dad, when I called him, the reaction was great, but also really funny. because
How so?
he had about the same reaction as if I told him my socks are white. He,
What did he say?
he I don't care, right? Are you telling me this because you have a girlfriend? No. Well, I don't care.
Is that a good reaction? Like after getting off that call, were you like actually relieved and like kind of laughing, or did it feel dismissive at all? Yeah, how'd it feel?
No, he also said, I hope you don't think this is, you still have to bring them to me. I still have to meet whoever you're dating, all of that. So
Oh,
it
that's
was
awesome.
very loving, but it was also, he's a dad. He's got
Of course.
kind of humor.
Yeah. Throw some dad humor in there.
But dad for
that's
being
great.
like, I don't care, but also when you do have a girlfriend, I want to meet them to make sure that they are solid.
Good enough for my child.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and he actually has Alzheimer's, but one thing he still remembers is that I'm gay, and he keeps asking me like, when are you gonna get a girlfriend? I'm like, Dad, I'm 25. Leave me alone.
Give me some time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, your
But
dad
I've also
sounds
had
awesome.
people close to me that have had to stay quiet for really long, and eventually they felt they couldn't stay alive anymore. Luckily, they are still here, and eventually they did come out, but they had to cut the family off.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, in closing this out, like, do you have any advice for people like the parent in the first story who is like, seemed like they like wanted to learn, but were just, approaching it really poorly? Like, do you have any like quick bit of advice for how they could approach their child and try to like learn and help?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't compare being gay with prison.
Good start.
Should compare being gay with being straight or trans, things like that.
Yeah.
And you should also just check out YouTube, TikTok, whatever.
Yeah, the
Educate
education
yourself.
is such an important part.
Yeah, with queer people talking about what it is that people say that actually hurts them, and learn from that.
Well, thank you
that.
so much for calling in, Madolo, and giving us your perspective. And your dad sounds like a total awesome dad. So shout out to him.
He is awesome.
Heck yeah.
He's
Have a good one.
insane, but he's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yes, you
Thanks,
too.
Later,
Madolo.
Madolo.
See
Thanks
ya.
for
Have a
calling
good
in.
one. That's so funny. When Madolo said like socks are white,
Yeah.
sent me.
And the one thing he remembers is that
I'm gay.
But to close out this stream, we'll read a couple donations and membership goals, and then we'll do our sign off.
Heck yeah.
Jody Werduff, thanks for the $10. This is hard. My sister is a lesbian and says her family is unsupportive because we stay with the religion we grew up in. We include her and her wife in family things. I was even in her wedding. So it sounds like maybe it was the relationship was still there.
They were able to at least mend it more than the
Yeah.
story that we heard, at least.
Angie, thanks for being a member for 2 months. My mother was awful to me and my sister. I have had the most difficult mourning period the last 19 months. I would regret if I wasn't by her bedside. Wow. So even though the mother was awful, it's like I still wanted to be there. Videographo, thanks for the 3 months. Not gonna lie, I'd rather my dad think I don't care about him by never reaching out than come out to him after what he said as a Catholic. So it's like really hard to actually have that conversation. BB Memes, thanks for the 3 months of membership. Go live at Pride.
I mean, it would be lit.
It would be pretty. We would get so many people coming up. So many people.
Oh, like people who know the show.
Oh no, just like people wanting to be on.
Oh,
it would be
right.
if we were at Pride with our cart.
Now I'm connecting.
It would be crazy.
Yes.
It would be crazy.
Yeah, no, you're
and we'd probably get some
100% right.
crazy stories.
Yeah,
too.
we probably would.
MJ Grow, thanks for the $10. But how would the daughter feel living the rest of her life knowing her mother still refused to accept her, that she chose her beliefs over her daughter?
Yes, that's like the same conversation that we had
Yeah.
in there before, where it's like,
But that is the end of the members only live stream. Thank you
Wow.
for coming in and participating and giving your perspective. I feel like you guys were actually able to provide a lot of stuff that a lot of sides of things that we wouldn't have been able to get just on our
Great
own.
conversations.
Great
from the
conversations
community today.
Yeah, which is why we do the members only stream, because we want you guys to be within these episodes, immortalized on OK Storytime. So when it goes live in a couple weeks, like your guys' perspective is baked in there.
It's creating community, not just content.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your boys do.
But with that, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.